active viewers, Jaylbayt here with another episode of Master of Orion. We're playing as the Trilarian Shoal. And when last we met, we had just fended off a big fleet from the Antares with our whales, and they performed quite excellently. I tweaked around with some of the ships too, and I don't know that that did us very good because, like, we lost like 1,000 attack power here. And so I played around with it a little bit off camera, and I realized what's happening here is if you look, you can see there's energy weapons and missiles. And you see the damage bonus there is ×1. Well, if I come in here and remove those ion cannons, it jumps up and my damage bonus goes up to 1.67. So it looks like if you mix, and I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if there's some kind of deal, some hidden calculation or something. But if you, it looks like if you mix your missiles and weapons, you lose that damage bonus. There may be some technology that we did that has something to do with that. That, like, if there's only missiles on the ship or whatever, I get a damage bonus. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, we do not want to put or mix and match our energy weapons and our missiles. It doesn't take into effect point defense, it looks like. So we will deal with that. So what we can do is we can come in here and pump these back up to, you know, more. The other thing I've noticed, we're at 2,300 there, I think, is it? Regardless of whether we have fast missile racks or not, it doesn't seem to change this number or this number. Now, obviously, lower cooldowns means these fire faster, so I'm not sure how that all calculates out. But if you look at our point defense here, it says it's expected to destroy this many missiles, enemy missiles. Well, I was looking at some statistics, and our point defense is doing very little. I think against the Antares. I think the Antares have good enough like ECM and or not ECM, ECCM, I guess would be the term. ECM jammers, all that sort of thing. That it's making our point defense rather weak. And so what we may want to do is just pull off point defense altogether and add in extra missiles. Now, this is not a lot. Each one of these is like 4. So we'd only be gaining, what is this? Like maybe 40 points. But that is, you know, 4 more missiles worth of stuff. So we could play around with that. The other thing I wanted to do was, I read through the comments, and one of the users, or one of the comments talked about setting up missiles in a way to kind of help boost damage and bypass enemy point defense. And the way you do that is you make these armored fast missiles. That looks like that's a pulsar missile. We want Xeon missiles. Oh, we don't have the tech for that. So let me just show you with the pulsons. So with the pulsons, you can do armored and fast, and then with your other ones, you do the MIRVs, because it doubles the damage. And since these are faster, or the ones are faster, you do like a 1-to-5 or a 1-to-6 ratio of those missiles to the MIRV missiles, and they'll all fire at the same time, but because the armored ones are faster, they will get out ahead of the other missiles, and the enemy point defense will start shooting at them and waste their point defense on these guys, whereas the MIRVs will be coming in behind and the majority of those will bypass the enemy point defense because it'll have already used its point defense on trying to take out the fast missiles. So that's something I kind of want to play around with. But in order to do that, oh, I didn't want to cancel that. I still want to get rid of these. And then we'll boost up our Xeon missiles like so. And so now our attack, it's showing our attack is much higher, which is cool. All right. But I didn't do that with anything else, did I? It doesn't look like it. Lost my train of thought here. But we need to get the research that
the secrets crawl into
it unlocks the Xeon upgrades, which I believe is right here. Yeah. Do we need anything here? I don't think so. Hyperdrive. We'll probably get this drive, the interphase drive, so I doubt I'll get this hyperdrive. What's interesting about this interphase drive is it's very efficient. Like it's like maybe half the space requirement. So once you get interphase drive, you can actually put a lot of extra stuff on. It's almost like its own little mini battle pod type deal. But what we want to do is we want to get to these Xeon missile modifications, which is going to take us a lot of extra research. Can't remember if I had just started on this or not. Well, it's only 4 turns to get done, and we do want to get to this eventually, so I guess I'll leave it on there for now. But, so we can... Did I not? Oh, there it is. My scroll is kind of being weird. So we can change these up to go like that, and then any of the whales that we're building in the Empire here will go into that new configuration, which will be awesome. All right. So what I'm estimating is that I will need about 10 Titans and then possibly a Doomstar to take on that fleet. And that's going to eat up a lot of command points, right? So if you think 10 Titans, that's 100 command points. A Doomstar is 15. So that's 115 command points. And we already have like 48 being used by battleships. 16 by cruisers. So we're going to need to increase our command point usage here. So we're also going to want to start upgrading people to star bases once we get that, if we don't already have that. And we're going to want to make sure that all of our planets have star bases at the very least to try and start getting those things up and going. What is everybody building? Terraforming, some of this stuff. Planetary Stock Exchange, that's cool. Advanced colony ship. Well, a bunch of spaceports to help with our money, which is going to be good. Good deal. So that's kind of the plan, is we're going to start building the fleet to take on the Antarans. Right now we're looking, I'm estimating about 10 whales and a Doomstar if possible. To help that along, we're definitely going to want Orion to grow fast because it's going to be a production powerhouse. And because we travel so fast between jump gates, it's definitely going to be good for us to get that done. So
I have a proposition for you.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff that he wants to give me. Some GMF shares, sure. I don't remember if we had started this, but basically,
My thanks.
we're going to war.
If this is the kind of fight you want, then I will give it to you.
Look, what is it? Greywind? 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 Don't worry about it. We basically, every time we have peace with the Illyrians or the Klakon, the Sakra and the Borathi are going to ask us to go back to war with them after our truce ends after 20 turns or whatever. So I'm not worried about it. Our fleet is buff enough now that we can take on anybody. So as long as they don't attack us, we're just going to kind of fill in this Cold War action until they're done. Okay. We got a bunch of tech. Subterranean farms even. Nice. Neutronium armor. Cool. Alright. So what I'm going to do, with that intent, I'm going to try and fly through some turns. Oh, whoops. Somebody made a colony ship. 2 people made a colony ship. So where were they? Production's going. Alright, so what did I say we were going to want to do? It might not be a bad idea to start building some of this, but yeah. Let's start building our fleet. We can upgrade them as needed. We have a lot of income right now, which is good because that means we can upgrade our Titans with like the new Xeon loadouts once we get the technology for it with the new drives. I'm pretty sure I made these guys just to colonize. It's been about a week since I last recorded. ultra poor. Nice. The advanced colony ships are nice though, because it gives you a little bit of everything. We've got crust prospecting here. And then we're going to want... I think I made a big mistake with the deep core mine. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sure I explained it at the time. But the pollution problem is so bad that I don't know that this is ever worth it unless you can get both. On the ultra-rich planets, it's not so bad because you can get those recyclotrons, which give you a good chunk of pollution reduction. But on normal planets, the deep core mine is just not all that good because you can usually only have like 2 or 3 slots working it, and that's just not good. Alright. We'll get all of this happening. We've got subterranean farms now, that's awesome. If you get all the food things going, you can make really decent amount of growth going, which is what we're doing on Orion to get Orion going. Oh, this also. I thought that this would come back under my control for after 20 turns, but apparently that's not the case. Either they're continuously causing this to revolt, but I don't think it's... I'm pretty sure it's been 20 turns and nothing, and this is not back under my control. So I think we're going to have to take it back through force. I don't... Do I
The
have...
secrets crawl into our minds.
Thank you. What is it? Troop. It's troop transport. What's the thing that like lets you... I thought there's something that lets you add like Marines. You definitely want this. Like add Marines onto the ship. So you don't have to do transport ships. Can't remember. Oh, I did want to make another one of these too. Zortrium armor. Is I think Zentronium's right. Missile armor multiplier times 2. Hull armor multiplier times 2.25. So this one has a higher hull multiplier, but its resilience and armor is less. This also costs less. I don't remember. Is Zentronium the one that we got from Orion? I think that helps with point defense, although that may not be necessary. And so you see here, like we've got all these different things on here. Our damage bonus is more than 1, but it's like, it's crazy. It's all over the place. But if we pull that out, you see how that goes up? Where's the other energy weapon? Is this considered an energy weapon? No. Oh, I guess it is. So, very interesting how that all works out. I want this. Heavy armor. Reinforced hull. Hard shields. Our basic stuffs. I'm tempted to go with lightning field. Because this doesn't care about any kind of ECCM. 160 though. We'd sacrifice a lot for that. But one of the things I wanted to do with this other Titan was add in a black hole generator. I've been thinking about all those little frigates and destroyers that they have in that fleet. These things destroy those things. You can because you basically just chuck it out there in the big glob of them, and they're worthless. They can't move, and your missiles can just annihilate entire swaths of them. So what I think I'm going to do is I said I wanted 10 Titans. I want like 8 of our regulars and maybe like 2 of these just to just to tie up a lot of that little crap so we don't have to deal with them getting in and flying around us really close and all that sort of thing. So I think this would be a good deal. Also, we might be able to do this with even larger ships. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it's a bit big, but I think it's worth it. I'm not sure if it's worth putting lightning field on it. I mean, it might be, but I don't know. Duration 0.75. The lightning field surrounds a combat ship with a membrane of ionized particles capable of overloading any missile or fighter passing through it. Once triggered, the field must be allowed to recharge before it can fire again. The cooldown is 30, and the duration is like 1 second. I don't know. I may have to play with that and test it to see how it works. So for now, we won't bother with it. Then we'll have pretty much our standard missile loadout. Just fill it up with missiles. So we can still get 80 missiles on there. I'm not going to do any point defense. Like I said, I think that at this point, the enemy missiles are just have too much anti-point defense tech to matter. I feel like our point defense is going to be completely useless. So our point defense is going to be the fact that we have so much hull and so much resilience. Right? And our shields are just going to be buff. Our shields are up to 22 absorption. Right? And if you think about a Xeon missile, does 60 damage. A third of that damage is going to be just taken off by our shields. So I think we're sufficiently armored and beefed up with all of this stuff here that point defense is going to be very small in comparison, especially with the meager amounts of point defense that we were putting on. We could throw on just a bajillion ton of it, and that may help out. But I think the problem with point defense, if you look here, the ship has a 93% chance of being struck by an incoming missile, right? Actually, let's pull that off here. Phasers. Let's say we had a gob of this stuff, right? To determine if it hits, the ship has 50% chance of being struck by an incoming missile. That's interesting. I had never seen that before. Should look at that on our other ship. Man, I really wish there was... Okay, there we go. I think we're up to 80. Yeah. But for now, we'll just go with this. Sure, that's all just going to upgrade those computers. Like it says it's 0. So yeah, so see here, it still says 93%. So unless we have just tons of this point defense, it's like doing no... It's doing nothing. I suppose what we could do... Let's do that. Yeah, it's still 93%. So whatever, I don't know what changed it on the other thing, but sniper. But the point defense here is not helping. It's just trying to shoot down missiles. And that's what the enemy's ECCM is doing, is making it so that these things can't shoot it down. So I'm really tempted to just pull out point defense altogether on our whales and just give them more firepower. I feel like the faster we can kill off their ships with just giant salvos of missiles, the better we're going to be, because we have the armor and the tank to take a few of their big barrages from all their stuff. And then survive long enough to whittle down their forces to the point where any future salvos from them is not going to be enough to destroy us. So, you know what? I'm just going to do it. These guys are beefy. They can take it. There we go. We're up to 2,500 on this thing. Yeah, very nice. Cheap to upgrade that. Alright. So, I just talked about how I was going to fly through some of these turns, and I'm not doing it. Sakra have invested heavily in the Interstellar Stock Exchange. I'm not too worried about this. I remember I said I was getting worried about it.
Consider this, Stinger.
Let's just go with plasma beams for our stations. Plasma beams are awesome. I think they're better than...
An untold secret has been retrieved.
Yay. No, you're not going to do that. You're going to do... Where was it? Here? This. I want Xeon missile modifications, if you don't mind. Inner beacon. Pleasure domes. I also want pleasure domes, actually. If we can get everybody with a pleasure dome, we can crank up our taxes to 5 per person, and it'll be awesome. But plasma beams for our installations. Speaking of installations, did I ever rebuild these? I didn't rebuild these. Get those up and going. I don't think it matters with our whales here now, but might as well. So yeah, I'm going to fly through some of these turns just because I want to get to the death of Antares. They've annoyed me for long enough. And then here, now that we've got robo-miners up and going, I'm going to go. So like deep core mine's really nice in the early parts of a thing because you don't have that many people, but we're just going to go through here and bump up their food. And I may just buy through a lot of that stuff to get Orion online. We have a lot of money coming in. Never hurt nobody. Oh, and I was talking about this. Shamari, can I have you... Apparently not. Do you not have... Okay. Mira's building their thing. You're getting into your ocean transformation. You don't either. Crap. All these planets I never built marine barracks on. Seems a little silly. You have marine barracks. Okay. So when you're done with your colony ship, I want you to build me a stack of these troop transports. And we're going to take them down. We're going to take them down to Arkham and get our planet back.
We suggest a lull in battle, so we can both rebuild our hives.
They're doing credit. We've basically taken everything that they have already in peace treaties. Oh, so I'm not worried about these guys getting into the exchange because they're going to continuously ask us to go to war with the Kalakon and the Alarians, most likely. And now that we have all their tech, you can see they give you everything to go to war. Now that they have all their tech, they're going to start giving us these shares and money that they put into this. So, yeah, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. Okay. we're not dealing with this. I guess we could go with a positronic computer.
And untold...
Auto labs. That's cool. I'm not really hurting for research, though. Ding. Trilor 2 has finished its planetary stock exchange. Lots more monies. But we're out of time already. Time flies when you're getting back into playing. So sorry about that. We didn't do a ton of stuff. But over the next couple episodes, a lot of what we're going to be doing is just flying through turns, getting our whales built, getting the technology we need for our Doomstar and our Xeon missile modifications. So what I may do is I may fly through a bunch of turns in the interim, and then bring you back. May have an episode where we just kind of like we did at the end of the Terran campaign, where I just bring you in for some of the interesting developments. Because otherwise it's just going to be me sitting here going through next turn, maybe changing up some of the building and whatnot with each of the planets. But for the most part, it's just going to be me flying through turns. So I'll think about that. But that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please tap on the like button. And if you really enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe or share it with your friends if you haven't already. Either way, leave me a comment below. I love hearing and talking with you guys. You've given me a lot to think about, some really interesting ideas for how we are to proceed, and I want to see more of it, so do it. But until next time, I've been Jaylbayt. You guys live free, game hard.